What is up, guys? What is going on? Thank you for being here. It's Friday night, and it's time for another Friday Night Lights. So, I hope everybody is doing great and you've had a wonderful week. And we got a lot going on. We got a lot going on. So, real quick, we want to give a shout out to all of our uh, people that have joined in the show. As always, thank you, Wisco Detect, for being here and monitoring for us. We appreciate it. Detect Two Guns, glad to have you in the house. Chris, um, of course, Michael Coley. Thank you, Michael, for being here. Alabama Digger. And let's see who else we got. Metal Detecting with the CZ Kid. What's up, buddy? Enjoyed seeing you the other night on a live. Digging with Dad. Glad to have you in here. Appreciate it. Let's see who else. Chris, we've already mentioned, I think. Bobby Short. Always, Bobby. Glad to have you in here. TN Sharpshooter, my main man. And we got a great video coming up with TN Sharpshooter in just a few minutes. And Bells. Always glad to have you in here, Bells. Bells is my main girl. Thank you so much. And let's see who else. Jerry Talley. Jerry, glad to have you in here tonight. Surfside Dan, glad to have you in here. Five, also glad to have you in here. Ricky Bennett, as always, love having you guys in here. Joe Dirt, thank you so much. BK, good to see you, buddy. Norman Doster, glad to have you in here as well. And we've got other people that are watching, I know, that have not commented. We got 35 people in the house. So it's going to be a great time. So I wanted to show the little bits and pieces of the promo video, which I think that's why a lot of us are here tonight. And there's been a lot of speculation. Again, I still don't know what's going to happen here. So I'm interested to hear you guys' thoughts. My guess, now this is just a guess. I have not heard anything from XP. I have not heard anything from anyone other than it could possibly be maybe they released this a few years ago, I think, or said they were thinking about releasing it. And that was going to be a coil that was sort of like a horde hunter that was really, really deep. Now, I don't know if that's going to be it or not. That's just a sheer guess. But I'm very interested to hear what you guys think. And I've got some other ideas too of what it could possibly be, some things that I'm maybe hoping it could be. And again, I could be totally off base. I don't know everything, but I got a feeling if XP's released a video about whatever this is, it's going to be something that's going to be really, really good and something that we're all going to probably enjoy. So we'll just have to wait and see. So again, if you haven't already, hit that like button. I would greatly appreciate it. If you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing. We have a great group. We have a great channel. I get a lot of people coming in and out of here every day. We have a lot of great content, a lot of XP Deus II content, but we do look at other metal detectors as well. So again, come on, join the channel, join the fun. We try to get together every Friday night at 7:30 for just a good fun time for the most part. So glad to have everyone on board. If you feel the need to give a donation tonight, that's always greatly appreciated. Again, anything that is donated to the channel goes straight back into the channel and into cameras, gear, equipment, travel, all those types of things. So right now we're working on, and Michael Coley's aware of this, and he's on here. Right now we're working on possibly getting a drone for some of our metal detecting adventures. So we're trying to finance a drone to give even more video footage. So again, if you feel the need to give a super thanks or a super sticker, that money is going to go straight towards the purchase of possibly a drone for some of our metal detecting adventures. So again, if you feel that need, I would greatly appreciate it. Don't have to, because all of our information is free. You know, we try to provide the best information and the things that everyone wants to know, mainly about XP machines, but about a lot of other metal detectors as well. So thank you again for everyone being in here as well. So what are you guys thinking? I mean, I've told you what I think it could possibly be. I'm very, very interested to find out what you guys think. So Keith Nixon is in the house. Hey, Keith, glad to have you in here. Keith's a good friend of mine, very, very knowledgeable metal detectorist. Always glad to see Keith in here with us as well. So tell me what you guys are thinking. I've seen a lot of theories. Somebody says make it works on here. He says maybe a waterproof master. That would be good. Waterproof WS6 master. That would be really cool. Jerry Talley says I sent Calabash a photo and video link to that depth multiplier attachment to forward to you, which he did, by the way, Jerry. So thank you so much. You know, it could be something that's really going to give us more depth. You know, from what the video showed, and I sort of cut out the first part, but what the video showed, it showed something with depth is what it looked like. So I'm real interested to see what happens with that, but it could be something dealing with depth. And that's what I think too as well. Relics and Rings also said a 2-box detector attachment. And that's where everybody's sort of leaning, the people that I have talked to. But, you know, I don't know. I don't know. Dwayne Cron says, I think you're right about the Horde Hunter, but I'm hoping for a pulse induction coil. Could be. You know, I've had a few people say they think it's going to be the pulse induction coil. Now, Michael and Sharpshooter and I were talking today, and Sharpshooter brought up a good point that I thought I would share tonight on the channel. He seems to think that it could possibly be 2 coils in one, maybe a small coil mixed in with a large coil. That would be really cool. You know, if they could pull that off. I don't know if that's possible, but it is something that could possibly happen. I had another theory. I was thinking that maybe they're going to give us some sort of new coil that we could connect to our phones. If you notice down at the bottom, it had like a little ring, and there was like an updating thing on the side. So maybe it has something to do with us connecting to the coil, maybe using it like a GPR unit, which I've been using last week with Dan, and y'all saw Dan's great gun. And we've got more information coming up too about that gun in the next live stream. So I'm gonna let Dan sort of simmer on that, but he's going to come back next week, and we're going to look more at that gun, and we're going to get you guys input on the gun. So I'm looking forward to that. But anyway, it could be maybe a GPR attachment type thing where we could possibly see something. Who knows? XP is so innovative, and you got to remember, anything that XP does, they're so forward thinking. They're very innovative in what they do. So you got to think that whatever it is, they're thinking ahead. And when they designed this machine, they were thinking ahead too. So it's just going to be great. I can't wait. I'm so excited. I'm like a little kid at Christmas time, just waiting to find out what this is going to be. And all the anticipation and excitement, that just makes it so much fun for all of us. Chris says he thinks it's a 2-box attachment. Northwest Outdoors says a pulse coil would be very interesting. I think so too. And MS Modified seems like a 2-box setup would have limited appeal. And I agree with you, because, you know, a lot of us, and I think the majority of the people on here would agree, depth is nice, but we've already got a deep detector. You know, being any deeper, would that help us? You know, yes, probably, but is that something that a lot of us want? A lot of us probably want more separation than depth. And I think we've said this quite a few times, but you know, everybody's different, and everybody hunts differently, and they hunt different things. So, you know, who knows? But again, it's going to be great to see. And, you know, I can't wait. And MS Modified, I agree with you. It's going to be something really, really cool. She says it seems like a 2-box setup would have limited appeal. And while a new size coil would be cool, that's not groundbreaking, but a new unique breakthrough in coil technology would be a different story. And that's why I think what Sharpshooter and I were talking about today with Michael, with them actually putting 2 coils into one, that would be groundbreaking for sure. And XP is so innovative with what they do. You know, hopefully we're not disappointed, but I don't think we would be, because XP does very, very good on all of this stuff. So Relics and Rings says a PI coil would be my hope, but I doubt it. And I don't know. I wish I could give you guys some definitive answer, but they're pretty tight-lipped on what's going on. And BK brought up a good one. The Go Terrain app, which was something that has been brought up quite a few times. You saw down at the bottom, there was something sort of updating across the bottom. Is that saying that there's going to be a new app included? Maybe it's going to be more than one thing too. We don't know that. So some people have said maybe it's going to be a small coil and a big coil. Maybe it's going to be the app and some different type of coil. So I've seen all of those things, but right now it's just hard to say. But it's so much fun speculating what this is going to be. So Eric Cowan, is that how you say your name, Cowan or Cohen? He thinks that a Deus 3 is his guess. I don't think it's going to be a Deus 3, but the Deus 2, again, you guys know the Deus 1 came out 2011, I believe, 2012, and they had multiple updates for that machine, and it carried us all the way up until the Deus 2. So I think the Deus 2 is going to be around for a while, and XP has designed it to be that way, that technology is not going to pass it by. It's going to be a machine that we're going to be able to use for many years, not just a few. Metal Detecting Northwestern Wisconsin says maybe it's a coil with a GPS so you can see where you swung. Could be, really could be. My whole thing though is the depth thing. I think at the beginning of that video with them showing the ground and sort of showing it going down and up, I got a feeling it's got to do something with depth, but I could be wrong. I really could be. Digging with Dad says if they could design a PI coil that has discrimination on par or better with the GPX would be very neat. I dig in red dirt Virginia pretty often, and it would be nice to swing the GPX. Right. And, Michael Coley goes up to Virginia quite frequently, hunts for bullets and things, and he talks about that all the time. But that would be nice, if they did come out with something similar to a pulse induction that you could just attach to this machine. That would be really, really, really neat. Moose Annie says reconfigure the software. And I don't know, are they going to change some of the stuff on the update? I have no idea. But if it's a new coil and it's something that's different, you got to think there might be some changes to the software, but I don't know. So glad to have you in here, Musini. I don't think I've ever seen you in here, but glad to have you. Relic Magnet says, I would like to see the ability to adjust the transmit power. And remember, I think we sort of had that with the Deus 1 with the, the TX power, I believe. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what that happens. Jerry Talley says, Deus 2 is a single multi-frequency, so we don't need another Deus. I just need more time and cooler weather. I agree. It's warm right here in South Carolina too. So again, yeah, I feel your pain as far as the heat. Michael Coley says it will be hard to change anything major without a software update to go with it. And I agree with Michael. I think that's maybe we're getting another update, that quick. I don't know, but it's not within the realm of possibility because XP, again, is so innovative in what they do. Dwayne Cron says a PI coil would be good. VDI would easily sell for $800 or more to us here in Virginia. I bet. So in that hot soil, you got to think that having a PI sort of coil or attachment would really be huge for you guys. And mainly our soil here in South Carolina is very mild, and I can get away with pretty much anything, and I can run the settings pretty much as hard and as high as I want to on a lot of things. So again, Michael King says, I agree on the software update, and it could be another software update. I just don't know. But the reason why I don't think it's a software update is because they featured it with, y'all noticed all the coils around the side, and then you had all the headphones and the accessories around the other side. And then down at the bottom, it sort of would fit with it being some sort of accessory or addition to that, and not really necessarily an update. So that's why I think it's more than just an update. But we'll know soon, hopefully. I think we're going to know something really soon. So just stay tuned and be patient. It's just fun to speculate at this point, and I know we love doing that. Do we know when this may happen again? I think, Greg, just like I just said, I think it's going to be really soon. A week, 2 weeks, maybe, somewhere in that frame. XP's been really tight-lipped. They were so tight-lipped about the XP Deus II that nobody even knew that that new machine was even coming. So they're pretty good at keeping secrets. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Says, I still think it's going to be a version 2.0 to replace the quick fix of 1.10. Could be, Bells. Could be. Maybe there's an update and an accessory that's being put in. Like I said, I would not be surprised if this was not more than one thing. That would not surprise me at all. But again, I could be wrong. Sharpshooter says a PI coil would make the detector more versatile. And you notice that that was sort of brought up in the video as well, that it is going to be more versatile. And Sharpshooter's right. We can look at that video 100 times and we can probably come up with all sorts of things. XP has really got us guessing, but it's really cool to guess. Eric Cowan says, I hope it's not another update. I've updated and updated 4 times already this month. I had to do 3 machines, so I feel your pain to do all 3 machines and update those machines and get them ready. So I know exactly what you're saying, Eric. Digging Daryl says, I'm hoping for an elliptical coil. And I've had some people say, hey, maybe it's that small coil. But again, I think it's going back to something dealing with depth. And the elliptical coil wouldn't necessarily hit the depth part, but maybe the elliptical coil is really deep. Who knows? The other elliptical coil, it worked really well. So, but I would love to have an elliptical coil for the Deus II. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens there. Digging Daryl says, Chris, it ain't any cooler here in Missouri, 100 degrees here. Oh my gosh. And it's going to be warm. Today was really, in South Carolina, today was probably our coolest day heading forward. So the rest of the days are supposed to be in the high 80s, low 90s. So we're getting ready to get into a good bit of heat as well. Digging Canuck, glad to have you on here. Enjoyed watching your live stream. I got to see the first part of it. Glad to have you on here. She says, I don't think that much height would be for an update only. And I'm with you too, Digging Canuck. I think it's something much bigger than just an update. And it could be something, an update and something to go with it. That's why I think it's, much, much larger than what we're saying. But thank you so much for the kind words that you said last night on your live stream. I appreciate you and appreciate all that you do for our hobby. Alabama Digger says, hey, it would be awesome if it had an air conditioner. That's the truth, Alabama Digger. I would love to have that. Sharpshooter says, I've updated my WS6 and remote likely over 200 times. And Sharpshooter, I'm sure, has done a lot with it. So I can appreciate that. Thank you, Michael, for the donation. Appreciate you, buddy, for the drone fund. And yeah, we are looking at a drone to fly over some of these. And I've got some spectacular places that I go to. I would love to show you guys some of these places and give you a real feel for what I'm actually seeing on some of these old Southern plantations. I think some of you will be blown away with that. So that's why we're working towards a drone. So thank you, Michael. I appreciate it so much. Bells says, I bet T and Sharpshooter, I don't know how to get any squirrel. Yeah, if you want some squirrel shot, Sharpshooter's your guy for sure. BK says the XP Deus II mini excavator. Yeah, there you go. To dig us those deep holes. They were saying it was going to be something deep, right? So maybe we need an excavator. And Arthur Schwartz says, I'm sure all us nerds will buy it. And we probably will. We're going to get involved with it regardless of what it is. Of course, you guys know I'm an XP Deus II nerd as far as what they put out. I want everything and I want to try everything. So they just make some really, really, really good stuff. Search Out Dan says, I want the machine to have to separate tone from pull tabs. That would be great, Surfside Dan. And you know, maybe we're getting to that point. Technology is progressing so fast here, guys, that who knows what we're going to have. You know, it's just moving really fast. You think about the things that we have now versus what we had not even 5 years ago. You know, we've really come a long way as a community and as technology advances. And who knows what's in store for us in the future. UAB FWSS, can't imagine it being a bigger coil due to weight. The shaft flexes side to side enough already with just the 11-inch coil. And, you know, I don't know. I can't imagine it being anything bigger. It could be a 15-inch coil. You know, we could just all be just thinking it's going to be a Horde coil of some sort. But who knows? Who knows? But it might be a 15-inch coil. But I don't know. I just don't see that happening. But it could be. It could be. So we're going to find out soon, though, guys. So just stay patient. It's going to happen. Sharpshooter, thank you so much for the super sticker. Sharpshooter, I appreciate you so much. And we're going to have a video up from Sharpshooter in just a few minutes. I'm going to share with you guys. Sharpshooters has discovered something that's pretty interesting, and I think you guys will appreciate it for you guys that are XP Deus II users. Digging Canuck says HF coil maybe. I don't know. Could they go up with a higher frequency coil? I don't know. Digging Canuck, that's a great question. And but it could be for sure. Joe Dirt says, whatever it is, I want it. I want it now. I know, Joe Dirt. That's the way I am. You know, when they start showing all this stuff, all that does is just get me so ramped up. I'm ready to get whatever it is and try it out. So I'm really looking forward to whatever they decide to do here. But XP, just a great company, guys, and they really do a great job. And they're so forward thinking. You know, everything that they do as a company, it seems like there's purpose behind it, and they've thought about it for the future and what they want to do in the future. So that's one thing I can say about XP versus some of the other companies. You know, they're looking at their machines continuing for a longer lifetime. And then they keep adding great accessories and things that people want to those machines. So that's why I like XP. I mean, that's because of those specific things. Alabama Digger says, yeah, being they are a French company, it's probably that Tupac's Horde cord or a PI coil, but we can dream. Yeah, well, maybe we're going to be all wrong. Maybe it's not going to be a Horde coil, and maybe it's not going to be a PI coil. Maybe it's going to be something totally different. Who knows? But I love it. I love it. If they come out with a Horde Horner coil and I dig a 4-foot deep horseshoe, I might be done detecting for a couple of weeks. I know. You know, my thing is when it's hot down here in South Carolina, I don't necessarily want to be digging, 2-foot holes and try to find a target. Now, during the winter, I might consider it, but not right now for sure. So, yeah, I get it. Relic Magnet says, I use the 11x13 frequently, and I wonder what's the difference a 15-inch coil would make. I'm ready for a set of earbuds offered by XP Deus. That's a great suggestion. I will send that to XP or Sharpshooter, who's on here. Maybe he can send that. Maybe they can come out with a pair of XP Deus earbuds. Maybe some wireless earbuds that we can just stick in our ears. Wouldn't that be cool? So we'll see. That's a great suggestion, Relic Magnet. Hey, Sonny, glad to have you in the house. Appreciate it. Yes. And Bells is right. Oh, yes. Would love a pair of Deus II earbuds. Yeah, David Moss, glad to have you in here, David. Bells earbuds are the only way to go during the summer. That's exactly right, especially when you're dealing with the heat and humidity of the South. Dirt Devil Detecting, glad to have you on board. Appreciate you being here. Bell says, that is what I still love about my 800 and won't get rid of it because of it. Yeah, the 800 is a great machine. Dwayne Cron says, wireless earbuds for the win. That would make my summer. Wouldn't that be so cool if we got a pair of wireless earbuds? Like some AirPod, some Apple earbuds or earbuds to put in our ears. That would be really, really, really cool. Bobby Short says, wireless bone conduction headphones. Yeah, for the water. Wouldn't that be neat? So you guys have got a lot of great suggestions. And Sharpshooter, you need to be writing some of these things down. Let's get those things over there to XP to share with the company. UAB FWSS says, well, they need to add adjustments for their bone phones and the back phones for those of us with big melons. I agree. I've got, the old saying is, as you get older, your ears get bigger because you can't hear. So I've got big ears. So sometimes it's hard for me to get the WSA2s around my ears. And of course, I don't have a lot of hair to cover up those ears anymore. So I agree with you 100%. Eric Cowan says, same here. I need whatever is soon before my cash and stash gets found. Wireless earbuds would be awesome. Yeah, that's a great idea. And maybe that's what it is. Maybe we're all sitting here and we know what it is and we're saying it right now. That's what's going to be so fun in the next couple of weeks is when we do come back on here and we find out what this actually is. So again, a lot of great things. You guys are absolutely dead on with some of these things, I think. And I think somebody in this group is probably right. We'll find out who it's going to be, and then we can come back on here and we can talk about what it's going to be. So I know that it's starting to get warm around here. A lot of you too, if you haven't already invested in, you need to get a pair of WSA2s. I'm telling you, the WSA2 puck is so great for summer weather because you can take that puck off and you can make it into a wireless, and you can connect a little small pair of earbuds and put that WSA2 puck into, and I've got a couple of things listed on my Amazon store, which I can put up the link in a few minutes, but go check those things out that you can do for the summer. It'll make your life much more enjoyable, especially on the beach for you guys that are beach hunters. It makes life really, really good. And even if you're not on the beach, you're relic hunting, it'll still make your life very easy with a pair of WSA2 headphones because what you can do is take that puck off, you can put it in this little holder and connect a little small pair of earbuds to it and hook them straight up to your ears. So great thing to have for the summer months. And, I would strongly suggest that for you guys that are going out and hunting in this heat during the summer. Wild here, wireless earbuds would be cool, plus a WS6 stem mount with built-in speakers. That would be cool too. Michael Coley and Sharpshooter have both invested into some speakers to hook up to the WS6. You might want to check out Sharpshooter's. He's shown that actually too on his channel. And if you want your WS6 to have sound, so maybe if you're doing a video or whatever, so people can hear it, then check out Sharpshooter's video. He's actually showing one of those speakers with that. Wisco Detect says, I was digging some of the oldest stuff in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin today. I found a gold earring, silver 925 pearl earring, and a mercury dime. Those are awesome finds. And that was my next question. I know some of you have been out hunting. You might want to share your finds on here. If you found something, tell us what you found. Tell us the settings that you were using. We're going to talk about that in just a few minutes. Ohio Fred says, I've seen an adapted speaker for the WS6 Master on a stem. And that's what I was just talking about with Sharpshooter. He already has shown a setup that you can get. And I've got a couple of those things listed on my Amazon store if any of you are interested. And I'll put the link to that up in a few minutes. Yes, please hit that like button. Sharpshooter says he's already hit it. And Sharpshooter, I really appreciate that so much. Thank you for everybody hitting the like button. That like helps out with the algorithm. And I appreciate that so much. Again, we have one of the best communities on YouTube for sure, especially with the XP Deus II stuff. So again, Bobby Short says, in the woods, you need to be aware of surroundings. Some bone conduction headphones will do the trick. Definitely, bone conduction headphones are very, very cool. They are very, very loud though, so be prepared for that. When you're out of the water, they're made to go under the water, so you might want to turn that volume up too much, or it'll blow your eardrums out. for sure. Relic Magnet says, I bought the adapter with the headphone jack for the WS6, and I've been using the wired earbuds with it, but wireless is always better. Sure, definitely, for sure. Thank you for sharing, Relic Magnet. Sharpshooter says, speaker is cheap too, by the way. Yeah, I saw one that would have worked great today. I was actually walking around Walmart and went over to the electronics store. They had a very small speaker that you could plug in with a plug-in adapter. I want to say it was like $9, and you could take a zip tie and zip tie it to your shaft, plug that thing in. Make sure you have the horseshoe adapter though, so you can plug it into that 3.5 millimeter jack, and that way you can go out and you can use your WS6 and have sound, which is really great. So again, check those things out. Dwayne Cron says, I found an Eagle button and a Connecticut button Wednesday last Sunday. I found 2 pistols in the river. What? Dwayne, I need to hunt where you're hunting then. We just found a pistol last week, and I had it up on our live stream. Do you know what kind of pistols they were, Dwayne, by chance? But those are awesome finds. Congratulations, buddy. I'd love to see the Connecticut button. I don't know that I've ever seen one of those, so that would be really cool. If you get the clip adapter for the WS6 with the wired headphones, you can get a Bluetooth transmitter that will connect to the wireless headphones. The only thing I worry about with the Bluetooth transmitter is the latency, which could cause it to have sort of a delay or a lag to it. And Digging with Dad, I don't know if yours is, you seem to sound like it's working really good. So, but yeah, that would be the only thing. Make sure that if you do get a transmitter, that you get the low latency transmitter to hook up to the WS6. Thank you, Sharpshooter. I appreciate it. Yeah, Bill says that the bone conduction will shatter your skull. That's the truth. That's definitely. Digging with Dad says, including wireless Bluetooth earbuds. That would be really cool. Again, just as long as you got a low latency, you can get away with that. So I'm assuming, Digging with Dad, you got the low latency headphones and earphones and so on. So, and the transmitter's low latency. Dwayne Cron says, what is the lag with that setup? It'll just be a little bit delayed if you don't get a low latency transmitter. And you'll just have to experiment. There's some that work really, really well. I think Michael bought a transmitter, and he tried to hook his up to his AirPods, and it just didn't work that well. So just be careful with that. If you're going to use wireless headphones with the Bluetooth transmitter, that might end up being a little bit of a struggle. But you guys are going to have to experiment with that. That's why I say get the WSA2 with the puck, and then that way you can just plug in a little small pair of headphones. Even though I know you still got the wires, but you can attach that, hang it on a lanyard. You could actually put it on an armband or something, and just have the headphones running up to your ears, and you're still wireless in a roundabout way, which I like a lot. And Sharpshooter has shown that in his videos, and my buddy Michael on here has used it that way as well and loves it in that setup. So you guys can try that. Yes, thank you, Relic Magnet. I appreciate you being on here. Again, I appreciate everyone being on here. We try so hard, and we've got such a good group of people. And Sharpshooter, Calabash, Michael Coley, who's on here, Iffy Signals, even though he's not on here tonight, also one of my good buddies. All of us try to work together and try to give out and put out the best content that we can. But we really, really, really appreciate you and appreciate you being on here tonight. So thanks a lot so much. Appreciate it. Wild here says the horseshoe adapter is too fragile. Yeah, I can see that. I haven't had a problem with it, but I can see where you could have some issues with it because it is sort of fragile. I agree with you 100%. Wisco Detect says it's even hot in Wisconsin. Wow, if it's hot in Wisconsin, you know it's hot. But they got prairie land, so it can get warm there. I should have been more clear. The pistols were not Civil War era. One was a 25 auto and the other a 38, but it's still pretty cool, though. Dwayne Cron, that's awesome. Anytime you dig a gun, it's fun. So definitely. Seb R says, hi, Alan. Elaine of XP talked about 2 boxes for extreme depth. And that could be it. But again, guys, I do not know. I'm thinking it's something dealing with depth just because of the promo video, but I don't know. We'll see. DC Diggin says, hey, I dug a 3-ringer at 13 inches with a 9-inch coil. That 9-inch coil is lethal, and it's got great depth. It's deceivingly deep is what I call that 9-inch coil. So that's awesome. Thank you for being here, DC Diggin. Sebar, thank you for being here tonight. Appreciate you. And he said that Elaine was talking about this in 2018. BK says, plug a small speaker into the WSA2 for an external speaker. Sure, you could do it that way too as well. But again, you get that WSA2, you put the little clip on it, which I've got on my Amazon channel or Amazon store. You can clip it on, and then you can put the WSA2 puck inside, plug in a little small pair of earbuds, and you don't have all of that around your head and around your ears. So just a great setup. Like I said, Michael uses it. I'm going to be using it. I haven't really been out on the beach, but a couple of times, and I do have a beach video coming up for you guys, which I should have up this weekend. And we're actually going out and looking for a ring for someone that called me up and asked if I would go look for it for them. They live in North Carolina, and they had been here vacationing. So I went out to try to help find the ring. I have not found it yet, but it is on a part of the beach where I don't think there's going to be a lot of detecting going on. So hopefully I can find it for this person, and that would be an awesome, awesome story. So with that being said, we're going to move on to something else. I know you guys are real excited about the new product that's coming out from XP. And as soon as that happens, I promise I will try to get up a video about it, telling about it, you know, whatever features, whatever it's got going on with it. I'm going to try to get up a video as fast as I can to let you guys know. And hopefully maybe soon I'll have one of those in my possession, and I can show whatever this new thing's going to be. And I hope it's going to be something really cool, which I think it's going to be. So stay tuned. So one thing that I did want to talk about tonight, as I'm trying to look and see, we got about 30, 40 minutes. So Sharpshooter put up a very interesting video the other day, and it is about threshold. I'm curious to know how many of you use threshold when you are metal detecting. So I'm real curious as to how many of you use threshold. Let's get a quick poll. If you use threshold, say yes. If you don't, then just say no over in the comment section. Does anybody use threshold? Sharpshooter, we're going to love that whatever these answers are for sure. Carson Chris says that he's going to order. Very good, Carson Chris. Okay. Bobby Short says he does. He uses threshold. Relic Magnet says yes. Chris says no. Carson Chris says no. David Moss says, I used it all the time with the Equinox 800, but I'm assuming you don't use it right now with the Deus II. Dwayne Cron says no. Relic Magnet says mainly with the Relic program. Okay, awesome. Ralph says no, I never run threshold. Sniff It Out says yes, he does use threshold. Ricky Bennett says no for me. BK says no. And Michael says I have in the past. David Moss says I'm going to start using it. There you go, David. All right. So, and I appreciate everyone that responded. If you didn't respond, it's no big deal. I'm just trying to get an idea. Because one thing that Sharpshooter has noticed that it running that threshold just slightly can possibly help you with unmasking some targets in iron. Now, with the silencer running below 2, according to Sharpshooter, and he can attest to this too because he's on here, running that a silencer a little bit below 2 can it won't work as good if you're running threshold. So, and sharpshooter again can attest this. I'm going to show sharpshooters or part of sharpshooter's video with threshold. You guys can sort of judge and sort of look and see what his test is showing. So let's look at that real quick. And when the video's over with, we'll come back. We'll talk about it. And we'll see what you guys' thoughts are as far as running threshold with the XP Deus II. So stay tuned. Here's Sharpshooter's video, and we're going to...
Let's try this. There's a nickel in the ground right there about 4 inches. That could be a gold ring. And I put that white piece of paper down there. You see that little nail laying there? Fast program 2.5 reactivity. Okay. Fast program 2.5 reactivity. Threshold at 0. Alright? You hear that? Listen. Sort of hit and miss. You know, you get one, you know, usually you don't stand over the same place on the ground. So if I come right to left on that, listen, you hear anything? Nothing. Look at that. Okay? Turn the threshold to 1. Watch what happens. Now I got two-way signal. Now, what this could do for you is get you to turn on a target. Yeah, does that right there sound real good? No. Don't sound bad though. Especially if targets, if you're not finding very much, you know, and you hear that right there, you know, you might get curious. Now that's threshold 1 in the machine. I'll turn it back to 0. You hear that? I'm sweeping right over that just like I did. I'm going to switch it while I'm sweeping. I'm going to switch it to 1. It's at 0. I just switched it. So yeah, when you turn on this, okay, here's threshold 1. Okay? You see the ID, threshold 1, threshold 0. Okay? So could it get you to turn on it? That's the name of the game. You know, you got to have something to make you turn. You don't walk upon every target detecting it in its best possible scenario with a metal detector. That's one of the reasons why some of these more expensive detectors, that's what you're paying for. You can take an AT Pro and probably detect that nickel from this direction. Okay? And a lot of other detectors. But which ones are going to give you the clues with the most angular sweeping? Threshold 0 again. You hear that? Very hit and miss. Threshold 1. Hear that? So that might be enough to get you curious, to get you to turn on it. Oh, and then you start seeing a 58 ID or something like that, and you're like, oh, I think I'll dig it. Now, that's a buried nickel there about 4 inches. For a little scenario there, you know, that could happen to you in the wild. Threshold 1 again.
Okay, so what you saw there is exactly what I was saying. Sharpshooter was running the threshold up to 1, and just simply by running it at 1, it was able to unmask that dime that he had or nickel that he had down there. So again, threshold, try it out. If you haven't been using it, try it out and see. But just remember, like Sharpshooter was saying in the video, if you run the threshold below 2, it might not do as well for whatever reason. So again, definitely give it a shot. See if it works for you. But Sharpshooter's saying that we do need to be running a slight little bit of threshold. On the beach, I will run threshold from time to time. I think it can help. And Sharpshooter's saying right now too. He says, just turning it on. So again, using threshold. If you haven't been using it, maybe you want to try it, because apparently it is doing something really, really good for unmasking with an iron target, commingled with a non-ferrous target. So you definitely might want to try running a little bit of threshold with it. So Sharpshooter, if you want to elaborate any more, I know you're on here. So if you want to elaborate a little more with that, that would be great. And again, you guys that aren't using threshold, you might want to try threshold according to Sharpshooter. I'm actually going to try it out myself next time I go out relic hunting, and we'll see what happens with running a little bit of threshold. I know it's great on the beach. So again, it might work with iron too. So try threshold, report back to me. Let me know what you guys are seeing out in the field, because again, that's how we all learn. Sharpshooter's showing it on an above ground test, taking it out in the field and then using it too. That just gives us enough data to say, hey, yeah, maybe we do need to be running more threshold on some of these programs. And which programs they work on, just try it with the program that you're using and see how it works. Of course, I prefer fast. I've been using fast, and that's just what I love to hunt with. I prefer the pitch tones. I prefer high square for the audio. You guys have heard me say this. I love the 40 frequency, max frequency. I think that does a great job in unmasking. I usually run my silencer around 1. But every now and then I will go up to 2. So, you guys can experiment, but see if you can figure out where the threshold is helping you in your situations and in your hunts. So try threshold, run it a little bit, and see what you get. So BK says, hey, heading out tomorrow morning to do some detecting. Yes, thank you, BK. Give that a shot. Sharpshooter seems to think that it will help. Relics and Rings says, hey, I'll have to try that. And y'all saw Sharpshooter's video. He was basically saying, yes, you do need to have that on there. Sharpshooter saying you can turn to 1 and still use your iron tone instead of your threshold tone. So again, there's another suggestion from Sharpshooter. And Sharpshooter tests these machines out thoroughly. And anything he says usually is something that I'm willing to try, because he knows he's tested this machine. He's tested the update. So he's very familiar with these things, for those of you that don't know who Sharpshooter is. But yes, very, very good at testing out all of these things for us. The Sharpshooter has also got another video up about a bug that he might have discovered with the Deus II. It's basically dealing with 2 tones. And if you turn the discrimination down, and then you try to go back up, it won't go any higher than 0, but it's mainly just in 2 tones. I don't think he's seen it in anything else. Sharpshooter, have you seen it with any other of the other tones other than just 2 tones? I'll let him answer that, because I don't know if any of you guys have seen his video, but he did find that. And I don't know how many of you use 2 tones and turn it down below 0, but there is a problem. So Proudly American says, honest to goodness, if the man says turn it on, then you best turn it on. Yeah, what could it buy? Right. That's exactly what I said. He told me about it, and I was going like, yeah, Sharpshooter, I'm going to use it. I'll try it. The jury is in, folks. He's there to help. Yeah, definitely. And he's up, and he's on the up and up and trustworthy. He definitely is. If he tells me to do something, nine times out of, well, I'll say 10 out of 10 times, I'm going to try it at least to see if it's going to work for me. And usually he's pretty dead on. I mean, there's no question about it. So he definitely has that. Yes, it couldn't hurt to run it. Yeah, if you run it at 1, I mean, what the heck? I mean, that's so minuscule. I ran it the other day at 5 or 6 out on the beach, and it didn't bother me at all. In fact, I loved running it. It reminded me of using my Excalibur back in the days. So running it at even at 5 or 6 really didn't bother me that much. Sharpshooter says, again, only in two tones was there a bug. So again, for you guys that are running the machine, if you do go down in the discrimination and you go below 0 and then you try to turn it back up, you're not going to be able to turn it back up. So that's the bug. So just be aware of that. And I know XP will address it. I think Sharpshooter's already reached out to XP and they said they're going to get right on it. And, you know, they'll include it sometime real soon. So to make sure that that gets fixed. Joe Dirt says threshold only works with pitch. That's exactly right. Which pitch is what I use. And so it really affects me a lot. So that's why I was really happy to hear Sharpshooter actually say that. So Sharpshooter says two-tone bug can affect all programs. And he's saying except Relic and Goldfield. I don't use Relic and Goldfield, but if Sharpshooter's saying, hey, it doesn't affect Relic and Goldfield, then there you go. Again, and he said that's because they have no two-tone option. Thank you so much, Sharpshooter, for including that information. That will definitely help some people out as they are planning. Proudly American 276 says, hey, not even had a chance to hunt. Post one, I can't wait though. Been stuck in BFE, Colorado. Well, I hope you get out soon, Proudly American 276, and thanks for being on the channel tonight. We appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. Sharpshooter says two-tone bug, basically, if you access two-tone expert screen and hit plus key with tone break highlighted, this tone break will automatically go to 0. So there you go, straight from Sharpshooter. And he knows, I promise you, he's tested this machine every which way to Sunday for sure. So if he's saying it, then that's what it's doing. So thank you, Sharpshooter. Proudly American 276 says absolutely his trickery. What Calabash say? Hoodoo Voodoo has gained me a plenty. That's right, Calabash. And we miss Calabash, and hopefully he'll be back on board with us in the near future. So again, Calabash would probably agree with what Sharpshooter is saying at this point, and he knows that Sharpshooter doesn't do any hoodoo voodoo for sure. So Sharpshooter says no matter what your disc tone break is, it will go to 0 if you hit plus key. User can lower the tone break. So there you go, straight from the old Sharpshooter. BK says if XP had a few T and Sharpshooters on their team, the Deus II would be flawless out of the gate. Well, and Sharpshooter will be the first to admit he was late sort of getting involved with the update. So who knows what we would have gotten if Sharpshooter would have been on board a little bit sooner. So, but yeah, Sharpshooter's very thorough, guys. He's probably one of the most thorough people I think I've ever been around. He's always questioning everything I do. I know he questions everything Michael does. And we appreciate him for that because he really wants to get to the bottom of whatever it is to make this machine better. He really does. And that's what makes him such a super resource on my channel as well as for others on his channel. So again, I appreciate Sharpshooter so much. Get That Treasure says he's late to the party, but we're glad you're here. If you missed what we've been talking about, you can go back and watch the replay. But a lot of great convo tonight, a lot of technical stuff. Talked a lot about the new product coming out, which we hope to have real soon. Digging with Dad says, I have a question about audio response. If turned up past 3 or 4, I heard it will overreact on shallow targets and get a lot of negative feedback. Are you losing much by running it at 2? I don't think so. I really don't. I usually leave my audio response. I usually leave it around 4. I really don't go any more than 4. I've never gone up to 5 or higher. So I usually run mine around 4. Sometimes I'll run a little bit lower, but I don't think so. I don't think you're losing that much running it at 2. But I think Digging with Dad, didn't you say you had hot dirt? So that might be causing you some issues too. So we'll see. Sharpshooter says, I will do supplemental, more simple videos showing in a few minutes on two-tone bow versions 1.0 and 1.10. So there you go. You can check out Sharpshooter's video that he's going to do. Is what he said in a few minutes. So Sharpshooter's, he'll go out right now and make a video, guys. By the way, so he's all on it, and that's why we love him so much. Wisco Detect says, I'll definitely try it, guys. I head out at 5:30 a.m. for the beach and lake. Yeah, run Wisco Detect. Try running the threshold up to 1 or 2. Just see what it does. I ran it the other day on the beach at 5 or 6, I think is what I was running at. I had no problem. And I mean, I didn't mind hearing the hum because I'd been used to running it with my Excalibur when I had an Excalibur. So I was sort of used to it, but it's a great thing to do. And Sharpshooter saying it's helping with unmasking and iron. So give it a shot. Proudly American. Depends on surroundings and hearing, dude. 2 is a no-go. 3 or 4 better. Have your ears on. No ambient noise. That's right. That's why I said I usually run mine around 4. If you want to run it lower, that's totally up to you. I mean, I would try it and then see if you like it. And then if not, then maybe you might want to go back up to 4. I usually run, like I said, I usually run mine around 4. But again, I'm hunting in mild soil. I don't have a lot of the issues that I think you were dealing with where you hunt at. So yeah, just give it a shot. See what happens. That's all you can do, really. Wisco Detect says it's definitely a bug with 2 tones. He's exactly right. DC Diggins says he runs his at 3. And again, that's all personal preference as far as the audio response goes. And again, everybody's soil and conditions and hunting environments are totally different. And you just got to figure out what works best for you as far as the audio response goes and what you're actually looking for too. If you're in an open pasture, naturally, you probably want to turn that audio response up even more. If you're hunting in really thick iron, you're probably not going to want to turn that audio response up very much. So again, it depends on the situation, the conditions, and the site that you're hunting as far as what you want to do. Relics and Rings says he usually runs his at 3 or 4. I'm with you, Relics and Rings. Digging with Dad says I live in Marion, hunt good dirt more often than the hot dirt. The hot soil really affects it by cutting depth and making good targets sound like iron if deeper than a few inches. Yeah, Digging with Dad, I just say, look, just give it a shot. Run it down a little bit lower, see what you find. Some people are saying even with sensitive full tones, running that audio response up a little bit, but I don't know about all that. I'm not buying that, but we'll see. Carson Chris says I run 4 to 5. Yes, Carson Chris. And Joe Dirt says, does the audio out setting affect audio response? You mean like the volume that you're turning it up? I'm not sure what you mean, Joe Dirt. Say again, and we'll try to figure it out. One last thing too, we're getting ready to sign off. It's almost 8. It is 8:30. One last thing too. One more thing about sensitive full tones, and I think I said this last week. For you guys that have not tried sensitive full tones, you definitely want to give it a shot. If it's a site that you've really hunted quite thoroughly, and you want to go back and maybe do some mop-up duty on a site, sensitive full tones is a great program to try as far as unmasking. Again, you might dig a little more iron, but if there are some sketchy signals or some signals that you were wanting to try, then give sensitive full tones a shot. I know I said this last week. How many of you have used sensitive full tones and found it to work for you on a relic site? I don't know how many of you have actually had that opportunity, but you definitely want to give it a shot. I do think it does have a little more unmasking capability. It runs a little more hot, but definitely performs really well. I've dug a few non-ferrous targets out of sites that I've gone into with sensitive full tones. Joe, I think that it just turns up the volume. The audio response is how hard the machine hits and projects the targets, if I understand it correctly. Yeah, and he's exactly right. Chris, awesome show tonight. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate you, buddy. Thank you so much. 3 to 4, depending on the site. 5 at times. Yeah, you can run it at 5. It does get pretty loud at 5, but 3 to 4 is usually where I run mine too. I mainly leave it at 4 if I'm not mistaken. Bells, thanks. Appreciate you, Bells. You're always awesome. David Frazier says, yes, sensitive full tones is great. I like sensitive full tones. I don't mind hunting that machine being that hot. I can discriminate between some of the iron. I do get fooled, though. I really do get fooled with some of the iron, but sensitive full tones, a great program to check out. Sharpshooter has already shown that on his channel. James Letner, you're getting in here late, but we're glad to have you, and go back and check the replay. We're getting ready to sign off in probably the next 2 or 3 minutes, but thank you for being here. BK says, I used sensitive full tones last week at my favorite picnic grove. Awesome, BK. 1918 Buffalo Nickel. That is so good. Glad for that. Audio output is in the options menu, definitely. So Joe Dirt, I don't believe it impacts any of that at all. So again, audio response and audio output. Audio output is really basically adjusting, I believe, just adjusting the volume. So I don't think you're going to have an issue with the audio output and adjusting the audio response. Alabama Digger says, I did some heavy testing on sensitive full tones today, trying to wrangle the way it unmasked that really were tough signals. Very interesting results. Yeah, Alabama Digger, I found the same thing. I dug some targets that were really sketchy and iffy, and some of them really turned out to be buttons that were being masked by iron. So again, keep experimenting with that. Try to find the best setup for you. Sensitive full tones, max frequency of 40. I run high square, I run pitch, and everything else is sort of set up by site dependent. But you can try those settings, and I think they'll work really, really well, Alabama Digger. So definitely. Joe Dirt says, finally figured out why you are so good at moderating this bunch. You were right. That's right. I sure do. I'm used to dealing with all of these questions coming at me at one time. And yeah, that's right, Joe Dirt. Thank you so much, Joe Dirt, for being here tonight. I appreciate you. Proudly American says, full tone is nice on relic sites. I like it a lot. But if you're thick and nail bits, not so much. And it is tough. You're right, Proudly American. The place that I hunt is loaded with nail bits. You got to have your ears on. So be prepared. If you use sensitive full tones, you got to have your ears ready to adjust for that, because it can be quite tricky to navigate. Wisconsin, Texas. I'm going to Philadelphia from Sunday to Wednesday for education seminar. If there's anyone that I could meet up with, I'd welcome anything. Definitely bringing my Deus II. There you go. So you can go hunt with Wisconsin Tech in Philadelphia. Ohio Fred, thank you so much. Glad you were here tonight. James Letner, glad to have you here as always, buddy. Appreciate you so much. Digging with Dad, great talk and very informative. Thanks for what all the testers do in getting us the most out of the best machine out there. We appreciate you, Digging with Dad. Go find some great things this weekend. All right, guys, it is the witching hour, so it's time for us to sign off, I guess. I'm trying to be really good about keeping these things a little bit shorter, because I can talk about the XP Deus II all day long. I love the machine. I love talking metal detecting, period. And I love talking history. So again, I can talk about all this stuff all day long. It's just a fun thing to do. So again, guys, I appreciate each and every one of you being here tonight. Thank you for those that donated tonight. All of that money is going into the drone fund. So we are working towards a drone. And if you're watching this video on the replay, if you choose to give a super sticker or super thanks, always greatly appreciated. I will have the link for my Amazon store, and Detecting Clay is my affiliate. So if you guys are looking for a metal detector or need metal detecting accessories, you can check out either place, as they have plenty of things on there for you. And again, if you're new to the channel, please hit that like and subscribe button. Hit that like button. I greatly appreciate it. It's great for the algorithm. It does awesome for the channel, and we appreciate it, because all that does is help us bring more and more content. And Proudly American says, when I get home and update to 1.1, we'll know what's up real quickly. I have some Southwest Virginia barrels that are tough. Yes, go try it out. Very good. Alabama Digger says, good work tonight. Appreciate it, Alabama Digger. Love your channel as well. Digging Canuck, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you. Appreciate you so, so much. And yeah. All right. So Proudly American says, nails and bits over relics. We don't bleep around for coins. That's true. That is so true. So again, hi, Fred. Glad to have you in here. All right. We're going to sign off. Thank you guys for being here tonight. Great chat. Enjoyed being with everyone tonight. Again, check out the channel. We got more great content coming. XP Deus II content. We had some other metal detectors too that we are using. The Legend, the Xterra Pro. Some of those machines are available to me. So I'm going to be showing some of that content too in the coming weeks. But again, hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Get out there and hunt. Find some great things. Come back and share with us. We greatly appreciate it. And as always, I appreciate all of you guys. You guys are a fantastic group, fantastic community with a lot of wonderful people who are very knowledgeable. And again, I appreciate you guys. You guys take care. Have a great weekend. And we're out. I'll see you real soon on the next adventure. Take care, guys. See you soon.